What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, as it really helps out the channel. And let's just crack straight on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, our first story is coming from Flying Hilang, who says, "Am I the arsehole for refusing to go back to the family business after they kicked me?" Backstory: my uncle recently retired and gave a medium-sized business to my cousin. The first thing he did was not renewing my contract in the company and gave a new position to his friends and immediate family. I was mad on why I didn't get a new contract, even though I hit my key performance indicators all the time, while his friends and immediate family didn't even hit their KPI most of the time. He said that things are changing with him in charge, and sadly my services is no longer needed. I was pissed but accepted my fate, and I began to search for a new job. A competitor company took interest of me and hired me. I joined the company and the pay is good. I've been working for that company for 2 years, and I managed to gain like 2 positions up and beginning to be more involved with managerial roles. My cousin's company didn't do well, and during a family reunion he asked me to come back as he needed people like me to save the company. I refused, and it causes some family fighting, as some said I don't care about family and only care about money. I replied with what's stopping him to kick me out again when the company is back on its feet. Sadly, that causes more conflict and fighting. Now my family and cousins is fractured because of this. Am I the arsehole for not helping my cousin's company after he kicked me out in the first place? Now a little quick one there, and absolutely not the arsehole. Cousin only wants you back because things ain't going well anymore, and he knows you are a good asset to that company now. And what's stopping him? You're totally right in thinking this. What's stopping him from kicking you out once things do start to pick up again from your hard work? And we hate it when people start saying, oh, but it's family. Yeah, the family that shit on you at the very start of this story. Absolutely not the arsehole. But let's check out a couple of the comments before we move on, with actually Kate, who says, not the arsehole. He kicked you out when things were going well and now wants you to help when things aren't anymore. You're entirely right to assume he would do it again if you helped him fix things at the company. People put too much stock in forgiving family no matter what. Sometimes families consist of arseholes like your cousin, and you're under no obligation to help him screw you over again. No policy says not the arsehole. You have a job that is working well for you right now. You're not under any obligation to leave that job to take a job because it's family. Where was the outrage when you were let go? Take care of yourself. If you don't feel it's worth leaving your current job, then don't. Mopper says not the arsehole, and don't you dare go back there. Cousin just wants to use you. He don't give a damn about you. How the hell he gonna complain that you don't care about family? He didn't care about family much when he fired you, did he? Fuck that guy. Illuminator says not the arsehole. 1, he fired you, you don't need to go back. 2, it's his fault, you're not there. He has no right to get upset. 3, he does not get to claim family as more important, and you only care about money when he fired you first. 4, you didn't have to give up a good job to go working at a failing company for less pay for someone who fired you when you're outperforming other employees. It makes 0 sense to go back. There's no incentive. And Fork Shit Up says, not the arsehole. Also, what was his answer for stopping him from kicking you out again? That if family was so important, why were you let go? And we're finished with a comment from OP which replies to that, saying, he said something along the lines that my position is no longer relevant as they're not focusing on that part of the business anymore. The first time he kicked me. Then during the reunion, he said it's not fair for him to make promises to not kicking me out. As business changes, and he gives some examples, he also needed to kick some of his long friends because of the company restructuring. So it's not fair to give preferences to family members. The guarantee of not kicking me out again. Thinking about it, it's all like bad management from his part, rather than employees not performing well. And now let's move on to the next story. And our next story comes from SelectFox2388. Am I the arsehole for going on reading vacations instead of helping my sister out? I, 28 female, love reading. About 3 times a year I go on reading vacations. What is this? I usually pick a city I've never been to and spend the week just reading in different coffee shops. I started doing this during my university breaks and it just stuck. About once every 2 years, I'll go on a big trip to another country to do this, although I also sightsee on these trips. My trip to Paris last year had to be cancelled and I've rescheduled it for next year. My sister, 26 female, who lives with my parents, heard me talking to my mum about the trip over the phone and called me later. She basically laid into me about how I wouldn't let her move in with me, but I could afford to go on all these expensive vacations. About 6 months ago, my sister wanted to move in with me because she'd gotten pregnant and couldn't afford rent and a baby. I told her no because I didn't really have the room to house her and I didn't want to have a newborn in my house. I work from home and just knowing my sister, I would be doing some childcare. I'm child free and have no desire to look after someone else's baby. She's now crying to my parents about how I should give her money, at least because I can clearly afford it. They think I'm an arsehole for not helping her out at all, and so does most of the family. Am I the arsehole for going on reading vacations instead of helping my sister out? First, I'm going to start off by saying I've never heard of a reading vacation before. It sounds pretty amazing. I'm not a big reader myself apart from Reddit stories, but I could just sit in a coffee shop reading Reddit stories all day, can I? Could take my mic with me maybe? But holy shit, the entitlement of this person. And the family as well. It's one of these stories where the family's all saying, sitting back and saying, oh, I can't believe you're not giving that person money. And so like, you bloody give that person money, you cheeky sods. This person's living their best life right now. They're going on freaking reading vacations, living solo, and just enjoying their quiet time. They don't want someone else's baby in the house, and I can't blame them for that either. And let's not forget, a 26-year-old is going back to their parents and saying, Mummy, Dad, she's not giving me any money. Oh my word. Let's check out some comments. Not the arsehole. Let's check out some comments before we go on to the next one. Previous detail is in the same boat as me here saying, reading vacations? How have I never heard of this? I've wasted years of my life. Not the arsehole. Odd Increase says, not the arsehole. Why isn't she moving in with your parents instead of pressuring you? Screw family that wants to just hold you down. Amedge117 says, I'm probably not supposed to be laughing here, but I really don't get your sister's logic. How does you not letting her move in with you because she can't afford life have anything at all to do with you affording to go on vacation you choose? You don't have a kid or a life you can't afford. You can afford to do what you want, and what you want was not to have your sister and a newborn live with you so you can go on vacations whenever you want. This seems reasonable. Not the arsehole. Alana Ardre says, not the arsehole, you are not her parent. You have no obligation to provide housing for her and a newborn, even if you have the money and the space. It's your money, you can do with it as you wish. One more, as these comments are pretty consistent, from Consistent Leopard, who says, not the arsehole, not your kid, not your responsibility. Your sister is not entitled to your home, money or other resources just because you can afford it. She's a 26-year-old grown-ass woman who needs to find a way to take care of herself and her child on her own. If your parents and extended family are so worried about your sister, they can take her in and or subsidize her life. Now, before we move on to the next story, what are your thoughts on this one? What would you do in that situation? What do you think about the family trying to pressure OP as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Draco Film. Am I the arsehole for making my daughter, 17 female, move her cat's litter boxes into her bedroom? A few months ago, my daughter finally convinced my husband and I to let her get a cat. 3 cats specifically. They were kittens together and came as a package, and she said she really wanted them. We've only ever had a dog, but we were willing to give this a try as long as she promised to take care of them. In most respects, she's done a decent job. She always feeds the cats on time, plays with them every day, and seems to get along with them really well. The only problem's been the litter box. We honestly never expected this to be an issue when it came to cats, since our daughter takes the dog for walks all the time and has never complained about picking up dog poop, even in most unpleasant of circumstances. But she absolutely hates cleaning the litter boxes. When I ask her why, she says it smells absolutely nothing like dog poop and is far worse, more nauseating smell. Which does seem to be true. The vet told us everything was normal, and even a couple of cat owning friends who have been over said that it smells exactly like any other cat droppings they've come across and nothing's wrong. Recently, my daughter's started forgetting to clean the litter box, and the smell fills the house impressively quickly when unattended. I cut her some slack and chalked it up to her busy schedule, and often found myself having to clean it, but it became more of a regular occurrence. Finally, I overheard her on a conversation with her boyfriend where she admitted she'd been forgetting on purpose for a few weeks to try and get out of the chore, and I decided enough was enough. She came home from school the next day to find that all 4 litter boxes had been moved into her bedroom, and I sat her down and talked about how this was unacceptable and that the consequence would be the boxes would have to be moved for 1 week to a location where she couldn't just ignore the smell. I was surprised by how strong her reaction to this was. She got really angry and then started begging me to not make her do that, and how it was such a cruel punishment, and that she'd learned her lesson and would clean it from now on. I said that we could move the boxes back out after she proved that she could clean them for a week, but this was how things were going to be for now. I also told her that she's not grounded to her room, but she will have to sleep in there. No sleeping on the couch to avoid it. She's been not talking to me since I've instituted this and acts like it's a horrific form of torture, but I see it as a fair consequence and learning opportunity. Was that too harsh or appropriate? Am I the arsehole? Now, I suspect there's going to be something about moving the actual cat's litter boxes to do with the cats on this, and I'm not totally clued up, so I'm not going to make an ass of myself, and I'm going to go to the comments with Suitable Virus 8, who says, "You're the arsehole, not for trying to teach your daughter a lesson, but to your cats. Cats are very sensitive to changes in their environment. Litter boxes are very, very important in multi-cat households, not just for their elimination needs, but also for them to communicate with one another. Especially considering this is a multiple cat household. Moving them also suddenly and into the same room can really upset their dynamic. Don't make your pet suffer in the name of parenting. That's just cruel." And Ibabibo says, "As someone who has been in your daughter's position, not cleaning the litter box is unacceptable. Not only is it inconsiderate to people in the surrounding area, but to the cats as well. A messy litter box will make cats feel pressured to hold it in, which can cause UTIs, bladder infections, and even kidney issues. As a pet owner, she should be more responsible. However, moving them all to your daughter's room feels like a bit of a harsh reaction. If anything, I feel you should have talked to her and solidified the fact that these were her cats, and that failure to take care of them would have consequences. Please at least try removing the litter boxes from her room and seeing how it goes. It just seems miserable. In this case, I'm inclined to say everyone sucks here, but your daughter is the bigger arsehole. Also, here's a tip for the smell. Our cat has kidney disease, so we have to keep his litter boxes very clean at all times. We clean them at least once a day. I'm not sure how often you're cleaning yours, but if you do this, the scent won't be noticeable, especially if you're using a litter box with a hood on, which will help hide the scent. It's also better for the cats this way." Oreos for Brecky says, "Not the arsehole, but I've never had cats that adjusted well to litter boxes being moved all willy-nilly like that. Don't be surprised if they just keep going potty in the places the box used to be, which will be an even bigger mess. I would just keep one box in her room to remind her to clean them all and move the others back to where they were. No need to confuse the kitties that much." And one more from Kitty Nayad saying, "Everyone sucks here, well, except the cats, who are about to piss all over your house, by the way. And no, it's not their or your daughter's fault when they do, it's yours. Cats are weird and occasionally territorial about their boxes, and you just shove them all together in a small space where there usually isn't even one box. Great plan. Daughter needs to do what she agreed to do and take care of the cats. Buy her a box with a sifting tray and some litter liners for the full litter swaps. Or encourage her to figure out how to afford the disposable pans with a gel bead litter. Or an auto box, or there are a million alternatives because it's a well-known fact that cat litter is gross and no one wants to deal with it. But nope, instead trap your kid and her cats in a room with pee and shit and possible ammonia stench for a week. Disrupt the cats massively, then get upset when their animals and pee where the boxes were or on the couch, beds and rugs. And as suspected, yes, the cats may go back to where they were. I didn't really know that. I thought I heard it somewhere before. But what do you guys make of this story? Being trapped in there with that smell as well. Gotta be awful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and we'll move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Fire Experience 2070. Am I the arsehole for telling another gym member to wear a bra? I, 25 female, fucking hate wearing bras. They're uncomfortable, constricting, and expensive. With work from home, I spent the last year and a half basically never wearing a bra and got used to it. Quite frankly, my boobs are non-existent anyways. I recently started going to the gym again and started working out braless. I should note that up until now, no one has ever pointed out anything wrong with me not wearing a bra. However, in the middle of a set of squats, yes, mid-squat, a guy comes up to me, taps me on the shoulder to get my attention, and tells me that my nipples are poking through my shirt. I get really irritated because why the fuck is this guy staring at my nipples in the first place, and then stopping me mid-set to inform me? I get really annoyed, try to finish my set, but then this fucker literally grabs the bar as I ascend and re-racks it for me. He claimed it looked like I was having trouble with the last rep, and that he had to come over to make sure I could do it, then noticed my nipples. I'm really fucking pissed off at this point and told him I didn't need his help finishing my set and why the fuck was he looking at my chest in the first place. He said he was going to spot me, but then noticed my chest and thought it'd be inappropriate. I pointed out that the safety bar was set, so even if I did fail the set, he wasn't needed. But he just insisted people at gyms look out for each other, and that going forward I should probably wear a bra so other people wouldn't get uncomfortable, and that it may help me stay more balanced in my squats. I'm literally the only girl at the weight section of the gym at the moment, and the other guys who were squatting and failed sets never have to worry about this shit. I've seen guys fail multiple sets in a row and no one ever rushes to their aid. But I have a very slight pause and everyone thinks I need rescuing. So I'm now really annoyed and also kind of uncomfortable that this guy I've never spoken to in my life thinks he's helping me and then has the audacity to tell me how to dress. So I tell him, you have bigger boobs and nipples than I do, maybe you should wear a bra so people won't get uncomfortable and you won't fail your squats. He then got really defensive saying he was just trying to help, then called me a bitch. Honestly, I'm not sure if I overreacted, but I'm still kind of pissed off, so maybe that's clouding my judgment. Am I the arsehole? Edit to add, I'm not sure if people think I'm walking around and it's extremely obvious my nipples are showing. I actually really hate constricting clothes. My t-shirt size is extra small, but I wear a size large to the gym, and pretty much everywhere lately, and you can't tell my stomach from my chest. My nipples might be showing a little more while squatting because I was wearing a lifting belt. And we're going to start with Sphinxer on this one saying, not the arsehole, report it to your gym. He had no right to comment on your body at all and has no right to assert his help onto you. If he can't control himself from staring at another person's body, then he shouldn't be at a place where he's going to encounter all manner of bodies. Dwell said, not the arsehole, and who made him the nipple police? To which Gump the Chump replies, the duly elected nipple government. Fucking Reddit, man, it cracks me up sometimes. Ella Cedar says, not the arsehole. He was harassing you and you should tell management about it. As a fellow bra hater, it's no one's fucking business if I wear a bra or not. Excel says, you should report him to gym management for sexual harassment for staring at your nipples, telling you what you should wear to the gym, interrupting your set and putting your weights back on the rack unasked for when you clearly weren't struggling, and calling you a bitch. Tell them he made you feel unsafe and wouldn't leave you alone and continued to stare and comment on your breast after you repeatedly asked him not to, and you're worried about other female gym members, and how that incident might have escalated had there not been other men at the gym at the same time. Edited to add, also complain about the lack of social distance. We're still in a pandemic. National Preparation says, not the arsehole, report it to the gym. Someone coming over interrupting your set and commenting on your nipples isn't generally acceptable behaviour. Subjective Assertive says, not the arsehole, I'm a male but I can see from here he wanted to be the knight in shining armour for a damsel in distress. He was then obviously disappointed that you did not need saving, so defaulted to being a jackass in a poor attempt to save face and keep talking, which obviously allowed him to look at your nipples whilst also pretending, I'm not like other guys. No Policy says, not the arsehole, it's not your problem that he's offended by nipples. Some of us who wear bras still have the nipple problem, and padded sports bras can be a real pain in the ass. Bobby Dawn says, not the arsehole, because I've been wearing a bra many times and still have my nipples visible. A bra doesn't mean our boobs and nipples suddenly become invisible. This guy should have self-control and not look, it's simple as that. He's an idiot who never matured beyond middle school. PM Tits or Don't says, not the arsehole. See, bullshit like this is why women only gyms are a thing. He can deal with your comment being kinda in his face, but I would recommend you talk to the gym management about this guy coming up to you out of nowhere and commenting on your body while you're trying to work out. A Major Understanding says, man, from the title I thought you would be, but after having actually read the situation, not the arsehole, but you are hilarious. You didn't ask for his advice or help. If you hired him as a personal trainer, maybe, but he was just some dude. And I think everyone was right, they're just nips. But what do you guys make of this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and a huge thank you for spending 20 minutes of your precious time with the channel today, getting involved, and you know, it's just absolutely amazing. I'm blown away every single day. So thank you so much for your love, support, and time, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love. I got food up in the fridge. Y'all keep looking for that new wave. I think I like it how it is.